Hey, this is Nick Schneider, loan officer from M&M Mortgage. I'm sitting here in beautiful downtown White Bear with your local hockey realtor, Matt Van Voorhis here. We just got a few questions for him, tips about buying a home, selling a home. So let's dive into it. First question, what are some tips when you're looking out there for a realtor?
Yeah. So when you're out looking for a realtor, the important things that you really want to look at is their knowledge, especially knowledge of the areas that you're looking. You want somebody who knows the area, can give you tips, advice on local things to do in the area, up and coming areas, things like that. You want to work with an agent who has good connections with loan officers such as yourself, insurance agents, inspection companies, kind of everything behind what it takes to get a transaction to the closing table. Because you want to make sure that one, the process is going to be seamless, and two, that you're getting qualified people that you're working with to help you make the best decision for you when you're looking to buy a home.
So the process of selling your home, obviously a lot of people need to sell their home before they buy. What are kind of the timings, tips for getting your house ready to sell? Are we looking, hey, depends, gonna be a month, gonna be 2 months, maybe a week? What's kind of the average timing for that?
Yeah, I would say typically about 3 months in advance when you're getting ready to think about listing your home is a great time to start reaching out to an agent. The reason for that is one, we want to figure out when you're going to buy your next home, what's going to be the best situation for you. Can you purchase a home non-contingent on the sale of your property? Do you need the funds from your property when you sell it in order to purchase? So that we can start putting together a game plan and a roadmap to help get you into the next home as seamlessly as possible.
Perfect segue into my next question. So when you are looking to sell your home, obviously everybody wants to get the most that they can out of their house. And I'm sure that part of your consultation and everything is kind of trying to get the most value that they can. Is there anything, before you even go into a house that you'll be like, hey, if you got some money, here's a good thing to upgrade or maybe remodel or something like that, like a specific room or area?
Yeah. So a lot of it is going to be market dependent. The last couple of years we've been in the seller's market where sellers haven't had to make very many upgrades to their home in order to sell. Things if they start to change, then that might change as well. So it's important to get an agent in there to know what the market conditions are to give you good ideas of what's going to be the most cost effective for you to sell your home. You don't always need to come in and update a kitchen or a bathroom in order to sell the property right now. And so a lot of times people are doing that and spending a lot of money that they don't necessarily spend.
Kind of switching gears a little bit, going into first time home buyers. What what do you tell somebody coming, hey, I've never bought a house before, I want to buy a home? What are their kind of steps, or what do they need to do to be ready to write a house?
Yeah. So obviously first it's connecting with a good loan officer like Nick and getting that pre-approval process going. Because most importantly, we want to know what you can afford when you're going to purchase a house. A lot of times it helps a lot. A lot of times when you get pre-approved, you're approved for a lot higher than you realistically want to pay for a home. And so it's nice to know, okay, what are you approved up to? And then you can look at what the monthly payments look like on different homes at different price points so that you can make an educated decision on what works for you financially at this current time. A lot of people want to keep their payments low so that they can afford to do other things. Some people are starting to have kids and they need a bigger home and they got to put more focus into that payment so that they can meet the needs of a more family friendly home. So I think that's the biggest thing right off the bat. Then from there, it's curtailing, working with me to kind of curtail what do you want most? Is it location? Is it size of a home? Is it size of a lot? And then we can start kind of piecing together what that game plan looks like for you and figuring out where you want to do that next step.
Yeah. So got them pre-approved. Are they going just to open houses? Are you taking them places? Are you putting them on a search? Like, how does that process work?
Yeah. So once you get pre-approved, typically what I like to do is take people through houses privately. We can set up private showings, obviously through an agent, where we can go in the home, we can really look at it, and I can start to teach you about homes and what to look for at your price point. Condition of the home, the layouts, different problems that might come up when you're going to purchase a home, the mechanicals. My goal is to be an educator for you so that as you buy your first home, you start to know more about homes. And then later on, when you're buying second homes and third homes, you're more educated on the process and what it takes to find a great home that's going to fit the needs for you.
Are there any tips for kind of looking at an open house, or even, let's say, a walkthrough that you're with at the end, correct?
Yep.
Yep. So what are some tips that, they might look at to kind of be like, oh, I don't know about this, or hey, this is a great feature?
Yeah. So open houses can be a valuable tool when you're going to buy a house. One thing that, I encourage people to go in and look and see is if they go see a home and there's a lot of activity on the home, it's a good indicator that there's a lot of buyers that are searching in that area, and it might be more of a competitive market, or it's a competitive price point. If a home's been sitting on the market for a little bit longer and you go to the open house, you might see there's less activity and there might be more opportunity to get a deal on a home. Other things that you can look for as you're going into open houses is you can get a feel for what the layout is. One of the most important things in purchasing a home is you want to buy a marketable home, because if it's your first home and you don't plan on being there forever, when you go to sell it in the future, you want a marketable asset that you can put on the market and a lot of people and eyeballs are going to look at, and you can sell to the broadest audience. You also want to focus on location, and a lot of times going to the open house allows you to see what the location is like. Are we close to highways? Are we close to parks? All important things when making a decision on that purchase.
And neighbors and dogs.
And neighbors and dogs and things like that.
Last one for you. Okay, you got your offer accepted. There's an inspection contingency on there. Do you advise towards having the inspection done? And what are your thoughts on an inspection and what to do with all that information that they give you in that report?
Yeah. So inspections are extremely important, very valuable tools for first-time home buyers, especially. One, just to make sure you know what you're buying and you have all the information and all the facts about a home. What we're looking for in these inspections are a lot of times hazards and safety issues and foundational issues, making sure that when you buy the home, it's not going to be a ton of upfront costs for you to bring it to the standard of living that you would like to live in. Besides just the general inspection, we also want to get a sewer inspection and a radon inspection. First, the sewer inspection, because sewers can get very, very expensive if there's problems with it. You can get a collapsed line, cracks in the line. You can get some root intrusion for it to back up.
You want to make a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but you want to make sure that looks good, because that can ultimately be a huge expense for somebody who's buying a first home. You want to get a radon test, because radon in homes can be harmful. I would direct you to go do your research on radon and the health hazards behind it. But we want to make sure those levels are low, and if they're high, that we get a radon mitigation system installed. To carry on about, I guess, kind of further the topic in the conversation about home inspections, we also want to use that inspection as a list for potential things that you can do throughout the ownership of the home to help maintain it. The inspection company that I use gives you a very detailed list of all the things that they can find. A lot of it's just going to be informational about the home, maybe some things that aren't up to current code standards that they're going to point out, but you can use it as a checklist for this is my guide as I own the home of things that I can do to maintain and update.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Again, Nick Schneider with M&M Mortgage. This is your Hockey Realtor, Matt Van Voorhis. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us, and I hope you have a great day.